You know she's getting filled by some black stud. You know there's some black fucking bull that's just filling her with cock meat, giving her the real fuck she deserves. Some big black bull just filling her with cock meat.
All right, folks, how we doing? How are we all doing on this wonderful Memorial Day weekend where we celebrate all the veterans who died in vain because our country is now a third world authoritarian hellscape. And while we weren't live, the wonderful Domina Mortis sent $5. No message, but that's the thing, folks. On Streamlabs, you can send me messages. I'm sorry, you can send super chats via Streamlabs when I'm not live, and I'll see them when I do go live, and read them. I do that to Revenge and Assist because I don't get to listen to Revenge and Assist live, so I'll send them a super chat before I go to work, and it'll get read. And we got a YouTube super chat from the Dashing Rogue. Thank you very much for that. That's gonna sit in YouTube for a while, but nonetheless, thank you very much for it. Says, I saw your video on the Satanist dude, bro. Keep in mind, laughter is the best medicine against cancer. Yeah, that shit was funny. That shit was funny. I don't know if that guy was doing a bit or what, but like part of it was so funny. I wonder if it was real. Obviously, the story wasn't real. It was bullshit he made up. But I wonder if he's like, like if he was doing a bit. Or if he was seriously like, no, dude, really, I stuck it to those Christians with my gay fucking Slayer shirt. Somebody in the chat says, wait, Beckloff hates metal. I do indeed hate metal. The vast majority of metal is absolute fucking garbage. And the subculture around metal is even fucking worse. Oh, ugh. Metalheads are some cringe motherfuckers. I assume you might be referring to what music was playing. I wasn't really listening, but we had Smash Brothers 4 music playing. So, was it not 4? I guess 5. I guess 5 is the new one. Yeah, I guess we had music for the new Smash Brothers playing, which are mostly just remixes of old Nintendo songs. Oh, lordy. Apparently it was a remix of the Super Metroid theme people were talking about. But yeah, I found like a 4-hour chunk of it that I'll just play sometime. A lot of times I'm playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles music because that's, for my money, still one of the best video game soundtracks ever made. Objectively, Mario Galaxy is probably better. I personally like Sonic 3 and Knuckles more, though, just for nostalgic reasons. So he says, I like some metal, but the culture is pure AIDS. The culture is a hot topic. It's fake rebellion. I'm sorry, like, say what you will about rap, but at least back in the 90s, even into the early 2000s, rap was still real rebellion. It's not now. Don't get me wrong, it's not now. But back then, it was. Metal never was. Maybe if you go back to like the 70s, even then, no. It's fake. It's fucking fake rebellion. It's a bunch of kids who grew up in fucking middle-class suburban neighborhoods singing about their angst and the Dark Lord. Get the fuck out of here. And I use the term singing loosely. Oh, so what should we do, folks? I don't really have any plans. I just felt like streaming. I have no plans, folks. So it's all up in the air. What do you guys want to do? You want to sit here and bullshit on a wonderful Memorial Day evening? Just sit and bullshit, I guess. What do we got going on here? What can we watch? Y'all want to watch some cringe? I guess we can watch some cringe. I mean, there's always a Rooney. There's always a Rooney if you want some cringe. Metal is for hippies that did meth over weed. I don't know, man. It's just the metal subculture is just. Somebody says my family is too spooked to picnic. White kids singing about angst, isn't that rap too? Well, no. I mean, again, you want to go back to like the 80s and 90s, even early 2000s. I mean, rap was predominantly a bunch of ex-crackheads and ex-pimps and ex-gangsters. Motherfuckers that shot people before. You know? Whereas metal was a bunch of larpy fags. You know, singing about the Dark Lord and shit. Come on. Now, I mean, you want to compare. Now, I'm not going to defend, you know, virtually any music genre currently. I'm not going to defend the entertainment industry as a whole these days. You know, rap now is some white kid on heroin with a face tattoo mumbling. I'm not going to defend that. People in the chat say press A for Arini. I don't know. I mean, I'll do some Arini streams. It just I'm a little self-conscious as to whether or not we've beaten that to death. You know, like Davis is a larpy fag. We all know this. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I don't necessarily have anything else up my sleeve, so I'm open for suggestions, folks. You know, what do y'all want? Jim Goad. I don't know. I don't really like watching Jim Goad. It's something about Jim Goad. Just like I could sit and watch PPP too, and it's one of those things where I just find them. Something about Jim Goad makes me viscerally uncomfortable, and I don't really know the guy. I don't know anything about. I didn't know anything about him before Forney was having a beef with him. You know, I really don't even think I ever heard of him. Maybe I did, but certainly nothing that stuck in memory. But something about him just, like I could watch PPP, but something about him too makes me uncomfortable. As he's tilting against the windmills of Dick Masterson. Here's the problem I have with the PPP stuff. Like, look. He's got a point. That there's a clique going on around that corner, you know, with Ralph and Dick Masterson and Keemstar even, and whether he won't admit it, but Jim's part of the clique too at this point. Yeah. That's okay, yeah, buddies circling the wagons against each other, sure. Around each other, sure. But then he goes off, like he did something today, where he goes off about how no one needs, not only the new project, which is Dick Masterson's version of Patreon, nobody needs a Patreon. Nobody needs YouTube ad revenue. Nobody needs to be making any money at doing this. Now look, even when I made the most amount of money, this was not my full-time job. I would be very weary about making it my full-time job. That said, though, I'm accepting donations. By all means, send Streamlabs, preferably Streamlabs. YouTube Super Chats are acceptable. PayPal.me/TheBeckloff. You know, go to the wish list, all that good shit. All right? I want to get paid. Yeah, man doesn't live by bread alone, but he sure as shit doesn't live without it. If I am entertaining you, feel free to throw a quarter in the tip jar, as it were. And there's nothing wrong with that. These guys that want to get on some sort of high horse against making money on the internet, I just don't, I'm not in on that. And honestly, something about PPP, like when I watch him on stream and all, something about him doesn't sit right with me. And I can't put my finger on exactly what it is, but it's one of those gut things, like just watching his mannerisms, his body language or something. He makes me uncomfortable on a visceral level, and I don't know why. I really can't explain to you why. It is a purely gut reaction. But every time I see him, I just viscerally don't like him. It's a little bit tolerable when I'm just listening to him. But when I watch him, with the mannerisms, the body language, I can't really explain it, but I'm just sort of viscerally uncomfortable by him. a little bit the same thing with Godwinson, but I'm noticing Godwinson almost seems like he's picking up on PPP's mannerisms and almost mimicking them. I don't know exactly what his deal is. He didn't seem like that before. It's almost like he's just sort of mimicking his new buddy. I don't really know, but PPP, something about him doesn't seem right. So he says, do we have another special with Evangelical Cucks seeing Satan and kid stuff? No, I wish we did. That one was amazing. But, you know, speaking of Evangelical Cucks, I don't know, maybe we can look up some John Hagee cringe. John Hagee cringe. Let's look at that. Oh, yeah. No John Hagee cringe. Well, if we want to get John Hagee cringe, we look up John Hagee Israel. Let's see. Oh, man. We got Pastor John Hagee, U.S. Israel needs to team up against Iran. Let's see. Here we go. CBN News, United for Israel, how John Hagee, an Orthodox rabbi, forged a decades-long friendship. Let's watch that. Maybe that'll be fun. By the way, CBN News. I just want to... CBN News, the official channel of CBN News, right? This clip has 535 views, and it's 2 years old. Like, CBN News used to be a big fucking thing. That was the thing Pat Robertson founded. Oh, these people just have no fucking power anymore. Okay, we're going to skip this ad here.
Each year...
Let's go ahead and do some video capturing. Here we go. Go ahead and watch this then.
Christians United for Israel brings its members to Washington, D.C. Pastor John Hagee formed the organization to be a political advocate on behalf of the Jewish state. It's come a long way since 19...
Is that loud enough, by the way, folks? Let me know in the chat if that's not too loud. Oh, man, CBN is live right now. We might watch that. They're live. Holy shit. With 51 people watching. I have half as many people. I have just under 25. Okay, so be fair. Just under. If I had 25.5 people watching, I'd have that. But I have just under half. Less than one whole person. Under half the amount of live viewers that CBN News has. So maybe we'll watch them. That might be fun.
1981,
have some fun.
Pastor Hagee sought help from the Jewish community to host his first night to honor Israel.
In September of 81, when he went to the Jewish...
Pastor Hagee is a piece of shit, by the way. Let me just go on record. He's a piece of shit. Okay? If this man isn't fucking working... If this man isn't secretly a Mossad agent at this point, I'd be fucking shocked.
Community in San Antonio and agreed to represent us and get their permission to have.
You know, recently I talked about like Steve Brown and Ravi Zacharias were the two biggest influences in me coming to Christ. When I first became exposed to, I want to say, let's just say real Christianity, biblical Christianity, Christians taking it seriously, whatever you want. Somebody that's not just a nominal Christian that, you know, celebrates Christmas and Easter and maybe goes to church those days, but not really. When I first got exposed to serious Christianity, it was guys like this there. I'm like, this is fucked up. This is disgusting. I want no part of this. And it's specifically John Hagee among them. Because, I mean, he's been around for a while.
That night to honor Israel. Had there been no first night to honor Israel, there wouldn't have been a second or nor a third, and there most assuredly would not have been a Christians United for Israel. So it was a very pivotal moment, and Rabbi was the man who
There would be a lot of good done in the church if it would be hammered to the head. And it's mostly the evangelicals that cuck for Israel. The conservative Protestants, I suppose. Israel's not your friend. The Jews aren't your friends. You may have individual Jews who are your friends on a personal level, certainly. But the Jews are no friend of the Christians. They're not. All right? They're no friend of Christianity. They're not. Sorry to tell you that. But they're not. They're basically as hostile to Christianity as Islam. They're just a little bit more, little bit less open about it.
And the only man who could went to the Jewish community and got their permission.
So why did Rabbi Scheinberg say yes?
Because I felt that Pastor was the person that would say something, do something, carry it out. He was a person of, I felt when I first met him, I was impressed with his commitment, with his zeal.
I was impressed with how much I could use him to further my ends. I was impressed with how useful this goy was.
With his strength, with his courage, with his knowledge.
Recently, an event at Israel's Foreign Ministry honored Rabbi Scheinberg. Host David Nakrutman.
And you know what? When it comes to like end time shit, I don't even have a strong opinion on where the modern state of Israel fits in the end time stuff. Look, I'm just kind of in the mindset like, look, if God wants them there, they'll be there. All right, that's their business. All right, that's God's business. He does not require, nor has he asked for the aid of the United States government or military. He does not require, nor has he asked for my tax dollars or my tithe dollars to aid in that. If he wants them there, they'll be there. If not, then not. You think my faith will be any more shaken tomorrow if tomorrow I wake up to the news that Israel got pushed into the sea? Fuck them. I mean, you know, it wouldn't be the first time they got chased out of their own land. Probably won't be the last.
Credits the rabbi for breaking down a wall between Christians and Jews.
From the Jewish side, to have an Orthodox rabbi say yes to an evangelical pastor.
Look at that profile. Do I even need to say anything? Do I even need to say a thing here? Oh, am I a little loud there? I'm getting in the red. I gotta turn my mic down, folks. Sorry. I hope that didn't sound old Burger King microphone on you. Oh, I was getting in the red. A beak is worth 1,000 words. That's right, chat. Oh boy. That. if he was clasping his hands together, it'd be perfect. But oh man, that's a gentleman who has memorized the rules of acquisition.
1981 was unheard of. Mainstream Jewish-Christian relations was usually with Catholics and mainline Protestants, Reform and Conservative Jews, with a handful of Orthodox rabbis in academia. While on the grassroots level, never had anything
Yeah, the common folks out there, you bullshit.
like that. And Rabbi Scheinberg changed the history of the Jewish-Christian landscape as we see it today.
Again, I'm not suggesting that like everybody you as a Christian be friends with has to be a Christian. By no means am I suggesting that. Because certainly I don't live that way, all right? Most of my closest friends aren't Christian. That said, though, there's a certain level of spiritual fellowship that you just cannot have with a man who believes that Jesus Christ is in hell burning in a pot of excrement, boiling in a pot of excrement. Sorry to tell you. It's sort of similar to how I tried to explain to someone else before that as a Christian, you just can't have spiritual fellowship with someone that worships Thor. You just can't do it. Sorry to tell you.
The Krupman says the friendship of an Orthodox rabbi and an evangelical pastor has left a rich legacy.
In 1981, he said yes to a relationship that has lasted over 38 years, which has accomplished 37 Nights to Honor Israel at Cornerstone Church alone, but also influenced millions of Christians to do Nights to Honor Israel. He raised over $100 million for Israeli causes and Jewish causes, and it was all because a rabbi said yes.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Go ahead and give that a dislike there. All right, let's check in on CBN News Live, shall we? I want to hear what's going on with CBN News Live. Got 51 people watching.
If you do that,
and now it's merely 42. Now it's merely 42. Why the church is essential.
Other scriptures, like you're called to provide for your family, and if you don't, you're actually worse than an unbeliever, is what the scriptures say. So, if your business is being taken away, and you want to be peaceful if possible, but then at some point you go, I have to exercise my rights to be able to keep my business, and you're going to have to actually fight against these things. I mean, there's a whole bunch of complex issues that you get to take before the Lord in prayer.
Yeah, it's not really complex. If your business is being taken away, you fight it. But they're at least kind of standing up for themselves. Nothing really cringe here. What else? So he says the lack of Arini content today means today is the day Beckloff goes off the goop. Off the goop? What is that? I don't even know what that means. What is off the goop? How long until they talk about Israel? I don't know. Chat is disabled for the live stream. Of course, they're fucking pussies. Fucking pussies. I didn't even notice that, by the way. But, you know what? Yeah, chat is disabled for the live stream. Well, that's a dislike for me then, dog. What a bunch of pussies. Don't even have a live chat. Phew. Let's see. I don't know, chat. What do we want to do here? I guess we could watch Marini. I guess. I don't know. He's pretty boring. See, it's like there's two speeds with Davis. It's either like so monstrously wrong that I gotta pause every 3 seconds to dissect the bullshit, or just insanely fucking boring. We just got a video from yesterday called "The Mentality of the Right" with 41 views. Good God, Davis, your clip channel gets more views. Let's see. I mean, we can watch "The Mentality of the Right." I'm sure that's going to be him complaining about how the right is evil because they don't, everybody turned on him. When was this? This was yesterday. On the fast track to nowhere. I guess we'll go with this. I don't know. I'll probably check out at some point.
Finally starting to get a little bit of summer weather here in Calgary. And it's about bloody time. Who knows? The seasons seem to be out of whack all over the world lately. But, I suppose that's happening. Not much we can do about it. Let's see if this thing wants to respond.
Chatting about the weather.
Now streaming, it says. There I am, looking very handsome. Just waiting for a few of you guys to get here.
Oh boy.
Awesome. Looks like things are going all right.
In the chat, do you want to listen to Davis for 5 hours straight? No, we're not gonna. No. If I can't go more than like 20 minutes on it anymore. I'd have to be getting shekels pouring in or something to be able to do it that long. It's just all kind of the same thing with him. Like, that's sort of the problem. So he says this got good quick. What, the Davis thing? Hold Oh, did you watch this one? Does it get good?
Folks, I tell you what, you would not believe how hard it is to find somebody to help you bleed your brakes. Literally just sit in the driver's seat, push the brake pedal. Takes 2 minutes.
Well, that's because you don't have any friends, Davis. I'm sorry to tell you that. It's because you don't have any friends.
It's like pulling teeth, man. I was trying to bribe people. No dice. Finally, me and a stick had to do the job.
That's really sad.
Never underestimate the stick. The stick will always be there for you. And hey, we got Father Elijah in. Glad to have you, man. Looks like, this doesn't show me the numbers. I don't think this one up here shows me the numbers either. I can't see numbers anywhere. We got Battle Station Brick.
I can't find anybody to help me bleed my brakes.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks. I'm going to jump right into things. The topic of the live stream, mentality of the right. One of the interesting things with this COVID is it's not that battle lines are being redrawn exactly, but there's a lot less online LARPing and a lot less faith in the leadership. The political crisis has hit us in the real world, right? Like 4 years ago, political crisis really didn't matter, right? The lefties having a panic attacks over Trump, that was just something to do with their time. At the end of the day, Trump really wasn't affecting them. The politics really didn't matter 4 years ago. And just as much for us on the right. Very little of this actually matters. None of it impacted us day to day. With COVID, with the utter mishandling of this virus, all of a sudden, yeah, these things, it's not just, politics isn't just mouthing off on the internet. Politics is having a major impact on all of us. And so it's not that the battle lines are being redrawn, but there's just the hint of some form of communication between the left and the right.
What?
Depending
Where?
on what value you assign to the term communication, because it's maybe not as lucid as one might like.
Like, where is this happening?
And see, I'd like to revisit a theory I brought up a few years ago. The bicameral mind of politics. You see, what really strikes me about the division that we see in the left and the right.
Well, I'm just a stupid public school kid. So allow me to look up this $5 word he just said. Bicameral? Is that what he said? That's not to be confused with bisexual, which Davis is. This is, I assume, something different. Bicameral. Having two branches or chambers. Okay. So I guess that was his that was a pretentious way of saying the right left dichotomy. But there we go. We learned a new word today, folks.
Is that it's so similar to the divisions of the hemispheres in our brain. And there is some very fascinating evidence that...
Is he really going to go on about, like, this is right brain thinking, this is left brain thinking? He's really stuck in, like, 2014. Like, this is honestly some stuff, like, remember reading this shit in, like, 2014, 2013? He's regressed so much in his last couple years.
Strongly indicates that the two hemispheres within our brain are actually two distinct intelligences. There's a lot of evidence supporting that. And to be a healthy, balanced person, you want your two hemispheres working together. The left hemisphere, which controls the right hand side of the body, that's the one that has language. That's the one that speaks. But your right hemisphere, it doesn't speak, but it has the intuition. It's better at reading emotions. It's the artistic center of the brain that controls your left side, and that one can be, if you're suppressing that one, it's going to cause bad effects. You want them working in tandem with each other. You want your right brain to be happy. And this division as well between the left and right brains, it also strongly mimics the sex roles within our race. It strongly mimics the personalities of the two sexes.
Yes, the left is feminine and the right is
we're
masculine.
also seeing it here in politics.
That's right, Chad. Take the red pill.
And what we're seeing, the dysfunction that we're seeing in the modern era, is the fact that the left and the right cannot communicate.
This is like 5 years ago. This is so weird. It's like this man is trapped in some sort of time loop. We need to get the crew of the Enterprise to figure out how to lodge him out of this. He's going to start talking about Gamergate here in a minute. Like, how did this happen to you, Davis? Everyone already covered this like 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago. What the fuck happened to you? This is weirdly fascinating. Like, Chet, you know what I'm talking about. Like, look, if you're listening to me, like you already went over all this shit a long time ago. You know what I mean? How did you get like this, Davis?
The two hemispheres of the brain, rather than working in tandem, rather than helping one another, are fighting one another. In fact, part of the major mishandling of the COVID crisis is the fact that...
That's right, Chat. Gamers rise up. That's right, Chat. Let me tell you about Jordan Owen and the project we're working on. This is like a soulless reboot that just retreads old ideas with none of the vitality of the original. I don't get it. This is fascinating. How do you go in circles like this as a human being?
If one party is in power in a given nation, the other party is now working just to cause trouble. So in the United States, Donald Trump is in power, but instead of letting Donald Trump lead, because, in a time of war, a good plan today is better than a great plan next week. Instead of letting Donald
But we're not at
lead,
war.
even if it's not perfect, the left is constantly fighting Trump and undermining everything.
No. See, this is what a Catholic position it is, by the way. This is something is always, you got to just submit to the leadership, even if the plan is bad. It's better than no plan. No, I mean, like, look, if the left truly believes that Donald Trump is an evil man who wishes to do evil things and his plans are bad for this country, then of course they're going to fight him. And the inverse of that is true. Remember when Obama was elected? Rush Limbaugh, everybody was bitching at Rush Limbaugh because he said, I hope he fails. Well, what Rush Limbaugh meant from that is the things that Obama plans to do would be bad for this country. I hope he fails in doing those things. Of course you're going to oppose somebody that if you think that, like, the things they're trying to do are going to be disastrous. This is this Catholic, like, shut up and suck the dick of the leadership mentality. Oh.
He's trying to do. So you wind up with the worst of both worlds. Hey, Rebecca, Jack, glad to have you on here.
That's right, Chat. See, what you have to understand
Well,
is...
says, I found that some dining establishments still won't open the dining room. Yeah, it's just chaos is what's going on.
No, it's not chaos. It's kind of the opposite.
If there is going to be any sort of return to sanity, it will require communication between the left and the right. it will require some form of unity between them.
Again, with the Catholics and the unity shit. I'm going to blame this on Catholicism. Like, no. At a certain point, you if you're in charge, you tell the people who aren't in charge, fuck you, we're doing it this way. All right? Too many people on the right are trying to get... Because the right worships order, by the way. They do. The right wants there to be a plan, even if the plan is horrifying. To Joker post here for a moment. That's the problem with the right. All right? It's why you can't get the right to accept the fact that cops are out of control. It's why the right will never... Right-wingers inherently, they'll just never stop sucking the dick of the military, for example. Cops. They just love this order shit. But sometimes order is bad. Sometimes order is horrifying. Sometimes a little creative chaos needs to be added to the mix. And the right, always about unity and all this other shit. I don't want unity, all right? Right now, we could have unity where we all hold our hands and wear masks and destroy our economy and destroy our liberty, all right? That's the unity everybody wants right now, all right? The Karens are all in perfect fucking unity. I don't want that. No, you don't solve this problem by everybody gets together and holds hands and sings Kumbaya by the fire while we all lick Barney the dinosaur's fucking pussy. That's not what needs to happen here. What needs to happen is people with brains and souls and balls need to stand up and say, no, I'm not wearing a fucking mask. It's retarded. It doesn't do any good. Open the fucking restaurants. Like, just that's what needs to happen. And if only Trump had more of that. If only Trump was saying, no, Dr. Fauci's a fucking idiot. Remember when he said in the 80s everybody was going to catch the AIDS? Didn't matter if you... It wasn't just primarily for those, you know, doing intravenous drugs and having promiscuous butt sex. No. No, you could sleep with... You could have a one-night stand with a woman one time and you'll catch the AIDS. But that was all bullshit. That's right. Kiss the ring, chat. Exactly. Sometimes the order is superficial and it's disorder, but people would rather have the appearance than real order. The United States of Karen. Exactly, chat. It's also the reason why the idea of a right-wing revolution against the system is ridiculous. There isn't going to be a revolution. No. The modern right is useless when it comes to fighting back. The right is useless when it comes to fighting back. They really are. They want the order so much. They want they want to submit to the authority figures. They want daddy to tell them what to do. The right wants that really, really badly. Okay, it's why, you know, let's look at us Protestants. Why is it once a fucking, you know, mega church, once a non-denominational church gets to a certain size, why does it turn into a cult of personality around the fucking leader? Why are there so many James McDonalds? That's because they want a daddy to tell them what to do. This is, most of the culture is definitely paused. Oh yeah, a lot of the culture is.
Because neither the left nor the right is sufficient in and of itself. They, by their very nature, they define themselves by the other. In fact, let's say you took all the Democrats and moved them to one side of the country and all the Republicans to the other, the Democrats and Republicans would immediately split into left-right parties. It's a very intrinsic thing. It's a very human thing. It's organic. It arises naturally.
Yes, inevitably cultures stratify and split. That just happens.
And if the left and the right can communicate, then we can do something. If they can't, we're screwed.
Well, the reason for that, by the way, is because of how far left everything has shifted. I mean, in a sane society, I would be considered a leftist. All right. I'm not all about order. You know, I'm generally weird and eclectic. You know, I would be considered a leftist in a sane society. The only things that quote unquote make me a right winger are the fact that I believe in God and I want my taxes lowered. And I don't want little boys to cut their dicks off. That's what makes me a quote unquote right winger in today's age. That's how far to the left we've moved. The fact that Donald Trump is seen as far right shows you how the fuck for most of that man's life he was a Democrat. And he really hasn't changed his positions all that much.
As I said, there's a little bit more dialogue happening between the left and the right now, which is, that's an optimistic sign.
Again, I don't know where this is.
How to put this? See, when the left is far away, to use overcoming bias terminology, when the left is far away, when it's far, it's just stupid. It's just evil. When it's near, you start to get the sense of it, the flavor of it, the way it behaves. And once you start to see how the left is behaving, you're then able to see how the right is behaving. You're able to notice how your side is behaving. And that is ultimately what I'd like to talk about. But to get to the right, let's start with the left. So we're going to start off with the critique of the left.
People in the chat, I see Davis is preaching unity. I guess being bi is the compromise position with the left. You gotta, poor Davis. You gotta really feel sorry for a dude that's bi. I mean, if you're a chick that's bi, like, everybody loves you. All right, you're the life of the party. You're the belle of the ball. All right, everybody loves the chick that's bi, but the dude that's bi, even in our accepting culture now, society's like, pick a lane, asshole. So, once again, men just don't have it, and just have it a little rougher, don't we? No matter what you do, no matter what you're doing in life, men just getting it a little rougher. That's because the left is the abusive spouse, and the right is the battered spouse who goes along with it in hopes they won't get beaten again. The right fundamentally agrees with the morals of the left. How long have we been going on? About an hour. Man, I get so fucking tired watching Davis anymore. It's just it's fucking exhausting, and it's really weird how it's a fucking window into 2014 now. It's oh man, it's really weird. Like, why did he do that? Why did he go back so much? I don't understand. I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Just a little bit of a dicking off stream. Nothing was all that nothing planned. Let's see. I guess we'll go ahead and wrap this up. God bless the Clip channel. Yeah, no shit. All right. Well, that's about it for tonight, folks. Hope you enjoyed your 3-day weekend. I know I definitely needed it. Good Lord, I was tired. It's back to the fucking grind for me. But that's about it for today. I want to thank you all for listening.